So I want to introduce Rosdan, who's an IDF veteran. How are you, Ros?
How are you? Always a pleasure.
A pleasure speaking with you, and I do want to express my gratitude to you as a student who became a teacher and a leader, who led many people who were inspired by your example, and including my sons, who one of them served in Golani, and I remember how you delivered the gloves to him. What a coincidence, correct?
It's a small world.
And therefore, I also want to use this opportunity and thank you for supporting lone soldiers in Israel. A very special mission of yours, because you were a lone soldier yourself. You went with some of your friends, our students, and you understand what it means to be a lone soldier. So you created a community project of supporting lone soldiers in the Israeli army. And one of them happened to be my son in Golani, and another one right now in paratroopers serving on the border with Gaza. But we would like to discuss the special forces unit of Duvdevan. What do you know about them?
Well, I have a special connection to Duvdevan because my captain was in Duvdevan, and once he finished his service within Duvdevan, he was transferred over to us, and he became my captain. So I know how they operate. I have some friends who were there in the unit as well. So it's a very special unit. Their mission is to both infiltrate Arab territories and extract terrorists. Their mission is to arrest particular terrorists, and they have a very unique method of doing so. By a lot of times they'll just change their outfits, and they'll look like local residents. They'll study particular elements of each village. They'll know the trends of fashion in that particular village to make sure they completely fit in. They'll dress up, and they'll do an undercover mission inside, and they'll extract their target, expeditiously.
How long did you serve yourself in the army?
I served 2 years of active duty and probably another 13 or maybe 11 years, between 13 and 11 years of reserves.
And you actually traveled to serve from the United States back to Israel?
Correct.
Why did you do that?
I feel it's important to participate in reserves. You get to experience a different part of the military. You also get to help out. And in some way, it also inspires Israelis to show up to reserves, because they understand if I show up from New York, they could show up from Petah Tikva.
Is it fair, so to speak, okay to ask you, what did you do in the army?
I would rather not discuss. I could tell you certain things. Basically, we were in a light expedition assault unit, and that's it.
That is very good. And therefore, I can ask you the next question. Do you understand that when people leave the special units, they need help in rehabilitating and basically being integrated in the civil society?
I think it's very accurate to say that, because first of all, when you're a soldier, you have a particular mission, right? Your mission is to protect the nation. You have individual missions that drive your day and your focus. Once the military is done, your mission is over. You need to find another mission in life. And a lot of times soldiers struggle with that step of finding their own mission, not something that was pre-designed for them by both the military and the nation. Now they have to charter their own course, which sometimes could be very, very difficult, because as you many times mentioned, you're not where you are, but you are where you think you're going to be, right? So you are where your mind is. And if your mind is lost, the person is lost, no matter how of a type A personality that person is. You have additional factors of PTSD, right? So now you probably saw it on Facebook. A lot of people are doing challenges of 25 days, 25 push-ups per day to raise awareness about soldiers with PTSD. It came from Israel, this challenge, and every day you would nominate another person, so it grows exponentially. So you obviously have the second element of PTSD. Perhaps you have remorse of what you have done. You perhaps made a mistake and killed a civilian or killed one of your friends. And especially in Dudevan, there's a story where snipers were covering a particular area doing an arrest, and because the houses were in a in a kasbah, which is basically heavily built up area over years. So there's no general or grand design. They just the streets are built based on how people decided to build their houses. There's no structure to it, and one house got superimposed by another house. So and the snipers saw a soldier or a combatant rather, right, go up on the roof. They were not sure if it was friendly or not friendly. The sniper made a shot and he killed one of his own guys. So cases like this happen. They don't happen often, but it's very painful for the team. It's very painful for the unit itself. It's painful for the nation. So that could be a major source of PTSD, right? And soldiers need to deal with this afterwards. So organizations that deal with Duvdevan, like Duvdevan Foundation or Shisha Station Foundation, they deal with helping soldiers to cope with stresses of life post-military, right, as a result of military, or just deal with things that that are now, you know, challenges in regular civilian life. You know, which college to choose, what job to pursue, which doors to knock on, right? There's also an organization here in New York. It's called Nivut. It helps people navigate, right? The Nivut or navigation in Hebrew helps you navigate to your path, because a lot of times soldiers are lost without that mission that they've had in the military, and it's rather difficult.
And they also dedicated many years of their lives. I believe that Dov Divan is not just 2 year service. How long?
Oh yeah, well, you need to sign up for. You need to make sure that you do 3 years at least, maybe 3.5, and you know, and then once you're done with that, you do reserves, and the reserves continue until you're 40 or maybe even 50, depending on what role and position you have within the military. Also, specialized units are based on teams, right? You have tzevet. So when you have a team team helps you go further, right? Because you rely on each other. And once you leave the military, those same buddies are not there with you every day like they used to, right? So now you have to rely on those who are around you. And perhaps not every time those people are the most reliable. So.
Mm-hmm. So it's a basic question, of course, of adjustment. I want to ask you probably a question which will summarize our discussion. People may wonder, you have an Israeli army, you have a state of Israel. Why do I need to give money for lone soldiers, for instance? Why do I need money to Dov Divan Foundation? Because it really, you know, Israeli army, do we make a difference here when we give money for gloves or we give money for, you know, these veterans of Duvdevan or other units?
Well, there's definitely a difference because the government cannot, you know, encompass everything within itself, right? The foundations that help special forces, they're much closer to the soldiers themselves. They were former soldiers, so they know their own needs. There's less bureaucracy, so you know, money gets there quicker and more accurately. So there's definitely a need for it, just because there's that quick road to success.
Probably, again, from my side, just thinking about it, besides the gloves or besides any technicalities and support, I think it's also a feeling that you're not alone, that you have brothers and you have tzevet, you have community and you have nation behind you.
Correct, because that feeling is priceless. The feeling of being together, just the idea of being part of something makes you more comfortable, right? People wear the same uniforms, they feel more comfortable with each other, whether it's in the military or in baseball, right? Just the reality of life. human psyche works in a funny way.
Well, what it means is that when we raise money for our heroes, any contribution, any donation, it doesn't have to be large. It can be small, but small still can be priceless.
Correct. It's not the gift; it's the thought that counts. But a nice gift is also nice.
I want to thank you so much, and your words are definitely a gift. All the best to you.
Same to you.
Thank you.